Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be doing the video game pickups from the month of February of 2017, which oddly enough is the shortest month of the year, but always feels like one of the longer ones because, well, fucking winter, that's why. So, with that said, there's not a whole lot of things I can really talk about here. I mean, life is crazy as it is, but I do have one shout-out I do want to make, because, I haven't done the shout-out thing in the last one, but for this one, we're just going to do one. Alright, so the one that gets the shout-out for today is Kazakami Soundwave, where he does a lot of Let's Plays. That's actually mostly what he does on his channel, but he does have some, reviews here and there. I know the one that I first watched from his channel was that, it was a review of the, that knockoff SEGA console, the At Games one, which was actually pretty great. And then he also does some other random discussion on other videos. I actually met him through Gaming Through the Decades, one of his streams. I forget which stream it was, but he was doing a stream on something there, and he joined in, and, he was just a really cool guy, and, I checked out his stuff, and I ended up liking it quite a bit. So, that's one channel I can recommend you guys to check out for today. So, with that said, now let's begin with the pickups. Alright, so now let's begin with the oldest to the newest, and the oldest one here is some NES games, and this one right here is, Karnov, which is from Data East, and it's a action platformer, and this one is really fucking hard, but, I kind of expect that because it's fucking Karnov. I mean, this is the most manliest fucking game ever. I mean, come on, I'm pretty sure even Freddie Mercury would have loved this game because of his mustache alone, but yeah, anyways, though, yeah, this game is just a pretty badass game that is actually really hard, but I do enjoy it quite a bit, even though the jumping mechanics is kind of weird in this one, but still, it's one that I do think it is a pretty good one, considering it is Data East. So, the next one we got here is Pinball Quest, and this game is pretty fucking awesome, and even though I'm not, the biggest pinball fan ever, this is one I really do like a lot. Also, the cover art for it is pretty cool looking, too. I'm actually surprised I didn't talk about that one in my, my favorite box arts and for the NES, but it's because I didn't know about this game at the time, because I actually only heard about it somewhat recently. And you know what? This game's just really awesome. It's basically a typical pinball game, but there's also an adventure aspect to it, and there's some RPG elements. There's actually a store that you get to go to and do upgrades and shit. It's pretty great. Also, the music is pretty cool in it too, but yeah, if you really do want a very unique pinball sort of game, this is one I can definitely recommend. And the next one right here is Spot the Video Game, which is the good old mascot for 7-Up, and I was expecting this game to be kind of sort of like the Genesis one, but only in 8-bit. That would have been kind of interesting, but no, unfortunately, it's not like that at all. It's a fucking strategy board game, but kind of a weird one. I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of wish I would have emulated it before I went out and bought the game, but, I had to, delve into it, into the unknown, and, I bought this, and, well, thankfully it was really cheap, so, I'm not really too bummed about it, but at the same time, I was kind of oh, well, that's exciting. And as for the last NES game that we got here is, Mickey's Mousecapade. This is actually a game I rented as a kid, way back, and I remember kind of liking it, but at the same time, I also remember, really hating it because it's a really fucking hard game, and it, it still is really fucking hard, because I still, can barely know what the hell I'm doing. It's basically, an action platformer that's also sort of like a Metroid game, because you gotta, find secrets, you gotta know exactly where to go at the right time, and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know, I think it's alright, but I think it's more of a nostalgia thing, and also, I like a lot of the Disney games that were on the NES, and this one isn't bad, but it's definitely not the best one. And now we're going to be getting into some Sega Master System, which is a game system that I haven't really bought much games for, because, I hardly ever see any around, but I've actually seen, a whole bunch that came into one store that I go to, so I had to go check it out. And this one right here is, Castle of Illusions, a Mickey Mouse game that I can definitely say is better than the other one that is talked about, because, yes, this game is freaking awesome. Although I mostly played the Genesis version, but this version I still think is really good, though. I really like the graphics for it. I think the music's nice, and, the gameplay is really good, but, again, this one's also pretty fucking hard, too, but not in the same, sense as the other one, though. I think this one's much more easier. But of course there are still many secrets you gotta learn and all that kind of stuff though. But I do think this is just a more polished game though. So the next one we've got over here is Black Belt. And oh my god, don't you just love that cover, man? That foot that's levitating in the air, kicking the grid background. Isn't that just the best shit ever? Okay, anyways, I'm just fucking around, but anyways, this is a, beat 'em up game where every time you punch and kick people, they explode in one hit. So yeah, it's one of those types of like beat 'em up games. It's like really old and primitive, and it's not the greatest thing ever. In fact, a lot of people actually don't like this game much, but I actually kind of do in a weird way. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about this game where every time I play it, I just kind of get into it there. I don't know why, but and also the fact that also kind of makes me sort of like it is that in Japan it's actually a Fist of the North Star related game, or, should I say is Hokuto no Ken. The title screen actually looks exactly like Kenshiro, but, only wearing a kung fu outfit, which is kind of funny, but either way though, for some reason I just kind of like. And the next one we got here is King's Quest, Quest for the Crown, which is basically a port of the first King's Quest game that was on PC. Which is, as you know, is an adventure game where it's one of those games where, you have like lots of different options to pick from, and of course you start out and you don't know jack shit and you just gotta figure it out yourself, assholes. Yeah, it's one of those kind of games, and I do like them every once in a while, but of course I just have to be in the right mood for them. But from what I have played of these on PC, I did actually like them quite a bit, mostly because, like the graphics and the music and whatnot, I just really like that style, and, the box art for this one is pretty damn cheesy, but at least there was some sort of effort put into it. But another thing I think that's weird about this one is that the card itself is not red, it's white, which is kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. So yeah, I don't know, I thought that was kind of cool. But either way though, this is actually a game that I do actually kind of enjoy, even though it is really hard to figure out at times, but that's what the internet's for. And the last Master System game that we have here is a loose card, and that is Rastan, and this is basically like, it's a mixture between like Golden Axe and an action platformer, because, has like the same setting as Golden Axe, but, it's an action platformer, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I actually enjoy this one quite a bit. It's actually made by Taito, which, they usually make some really great stuff, although I never played any of the other versions of this game, because I know this one is actually on a couple of different systems. I know it's in the arcade, I know that. But I never actually played them, I've only just stuck with playing this one, and I actually do like it quite a bit. Alright, so the next PS2 game that we got over here is one I've been wanting for quite some time, but I wasn't sure when exactly I wanted to get it because the game is pretty uncommon, and that happens to be Wild Arms Alter Code F, which is a remake of the first Wild Arms game on PS1, but put on the PS2, and it also has an updated engine that plays like Wild Arms 3, which I fucking love that one, so I'm sure if I love that game, I'll love this one. I still haven't yet to actually try this one out. I mean, I did test it to see if it works, and, it does, but, like, I haven't actually, like, fully tried to actually, like, get into it there, because I've just been so busy with tons of other shit, but, yeah, I have played the original version on PS1, and I do remember liking that one quite a lot. It has been a while since I played it, but, I do remember it being a really good one. So this definitely does look like it's going to be a really awesome remake to an already great game, so I really can't wait to play through it whenever I can. Alright, so the next one we got here is a Wii U game, also just one, and this one was actually on sale, which I was surprised because, it's a Nintendo IP, and those barely ever go on sale, and so that happens to be Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and, I've always, like, thought about getting this game a while back when it came out, but I just never did. I don't know why, but, now that I finally have played it, though, it is a pretty fun game, I will say. Like, I do like what they're trying to do here. It kind of plays like, like Kirby, like, rolls into a ball, and then you have to make, like, little trails on, like, the screen, or, you make it on your tablet to go across certain things, and there's also, like, springboards and loop-de-loops. It almost feels like a Sonic game, which is kind of weird. And, it's not a bad game, but the only issue I have with it is that you're always looking at the tablet, so there's really no point to looking at the screen, like, ever, like at the TV screen. And the other thing that also is kind of weird is that it kind of feels like this game should have been on, like, the 3DS, where, like the Robot Kirby game, that one should have been on the Wii U, because it's more like an action game, or this one should have been like a 3DS spin-off, like they did with, that one on the Game Boy Color there, where you have to move around like the actual Game Boy Color itself, and it moves Kirby on the screen, something kind of like that. I don't know, that's what it kind of seems like to me, but, well, whatever. It's a decent game, but just kind of a weird thing to play on your Wii U. Alright, so the next stuff we have here are some Vita games, and this one right here is Wipeout 2048, which is a futuristic racing game, but also does have some combat elements into it. At least it has some combat game modes, which are always fun. So yeah, this is actually a really fun racing game. Holy crap, like the graphics in this game is just fucking awesome looking. Like this is just such a beautiful looking game. I was like, holy shit. Like, kinda sucks that Sony doesn't like make any more IPs on the Vita anymore because it seems like they had a lot of potential just from playing this game, but yeah, sadly to say about that. But anyways, this is just a really awesome game. But one thing that is funny when I opened this up, this right here is a season pass for playing online. You remember those? Yeah, I'm so fucking glad we're done with that shit. Alright, so the next one we got here is the last Vita game, and it's a weird-ass RPG, and as you know me, I like my weird-ass shit. So this one right here is Nioh and the Labyrinth of Death. And this is a first-person dungeon crawler, and I actually really like that genre quite a bit. I don't know what it is about going through a maze and just killing everything in sight, finding treasure chests, and clearing up the map. I don't know what it is about that, but I just really like that a whole lot. And from what I played of it, it does seem like a pretty good one. Obviously, I haven't gotten too far into it. I haven't beaten the first tower yet. But yeah, this is one I'll definitely have to play through more of whenever I can. Also, I first heard about this game through the channel Games of War, which is a really awesome YouTuber, by the way. And he actually did a video talking about more games on the Vita. It was like part 2, and this is one of the games he mentioned. And when he was talking about it, I was like, oh, well, that looks pretty cool. And my game store actually still has a copy of it, so I might also go pick it up whenever I can. And so I did. And so far that I'm playing through this, I think it is a pretty enjoyable one so far. You know, it is like, it has some like exploding tits and all, and also has some mechs, so, you know, what could you go wrong with that? Alright, so the next one we got here are some PS4 games, which are the last systems, and this one right here is an indie game, and that is Super Dungeon Bros, which is basically like another dungeon crawler type game, but it's more like an isometric one, and it's also plays kind of a lot like Gauntlet, where you know, you got like a big whole like loot fest going on and shit. And it's also like online multiplayer, which is always nice. But yeah, from what I played of it, it's pretty fun for what it is, although I fucking hate the melee weapons. They fucking suck in this game. So you really just want to use the ranged weapons, like you know, like the arrows and the crossbows and such. At least that's what I like to use, but either way though, from what I played of it, it is a pretty fun game. I wouldn't say it's like the most amazing thing ever, but you know, I think it's a pretty decent one. I'd say it would be worth picking up whenever you do see it really cheap. And the next one right here is, oh boy, this is Nioh, and oh my fucking god, this game is goddamn fucking awesome. I mean, I know I had to swear a lot there, but seriously though, this game is just kick ass. Like, I just love like so much things about it. I could like talk about it all day, but I won't, but basically I'm sure we already know what this game is, since this game has been getting a lot of praise, which is a good thing. And I would also like to say that this might actually be one of my favorite Tecmo games ever. Like, I'd put it up there with games like, you know, like the Deception series, or Ninja Gaiden, or Fatal Frame. I put it up there with one of those. Definitely fucking awesome. Now, as for the last game that I got for this month, that's also on PS4, and it just came out yesterday, at least yesterday that I'm recording this, because I probably won't upload this until like a week later. And that happens to be Berserk and the Band of Hawks. And, you know, a lot of people were complaining about the name of the game because, you know, his name is not Berserk, it's Guts, and, you know, just calling it like that is just weird. But, I don't know, they should have just called it Berserk and then just Band of Hawks at the subtitle, but whatever. Either way, all the stupid shit aside there, this game looks really fucking good. I can't wait to get into it there, because I haven't played it yet. And, you know, it's still sealed in the plastic, but, you know, that'll change shortly there. But, yeah, this is one I just can't wait to play. Ever since I heard about it, I was like, oh shit, they're making a new Berserk game. And it's also being made by a company that makes games that, like, in a style that I really like a whole bunch. So I was like, oh, well, I'm definitely can't wait to play this. So, yeah, it just looks like a very gory, like hack and slash game, and, you know, as it should be, because it's fucking Berserk. You don't make a Berserk game and make it, like, PG-13. Like, that's fucking ludicrous shit. Of course, they have to make it rated M, as it should be, because, you know, rated M for mature as fuck. So that's all the games that I got for this month of February, and as you know, I hope you guys get some recommendations of games that you should check out at some point in time, if any of them do interest you. So with that said, thank you for watching and commenting, and of course, I really do hope they do change the rating system from M to MF or mature as fuck, because, you know, why the fuck not?